Welcome back guys to the SSIS training session, and I should say this is the last session on SSIS. I thought of adding one more session on performance tuning of SSIS packages, but due to time constraint I'm not able to take that session, and it's all in your hands to practice all the transformations or the control flow tasks that we have discussed till date, and try to figure it out. The performance tuning is the best task or the task that people with good knowledge only can work on that. Like people with half knowledge can't work on the performance tuning. So if you get into that, if you try to implement the same on your own, at least you'll get an opportunity to go through all the tasks and you understand what a task, what is the advantages and disadvantages. So I hope it will help you in learning the technology, in learning the SSIS tool in depth. So I'm leaving it for you guys to go through the performance, and if I find time, but not in near future, I'll try to add a video on performance tuning of SSIS packages. But for now, in this session, I'm going to discuss only about how to execute. See, if you observe last 3 sessions, it's like first session, how to deploy the packages, second session, how to deploy the packages with variables and so on. With package configurations. And the third one, the last one, okay, after deployment, what you need to do, you need to execute it. How to execute that. Okay, so to make it better, easy to understand, what I've done is I've created a simple package, and this time I've given good name, package execution, instead of package 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have a start message, and I have a truncate table. The table will truncate. This task will truncate the table which is connected to through the destination connection, and the table is salesperson. Okay, truncate table salesperson, and load the data to the salesperson by pulling the data from sample database. Okay, source connection, and it is getting salesperson and moving it to the destination. So the same table will be truncated. That's it. I have not done anything much. This is the destination connection, and it will load to the destination, and once it is done, it will say a pop-up message saying that package completed successfully. And if you see the truncation part, what I'm doing here is I'm just truncating the same table which I'm gonna load. So this is a simple requirement. This is not the original requirement, and the original requirements will not be like this. Just to demonstrate how to execute the packages and what are all the different ways or different places that you can execute the packages, I've taken this sample. Now, let me go to SQL Server before going into the details of the execution. Let me open SQL Server Management Studio. I want to show you the tables, whatever I have created for this particular sample. I have one in SQL Server dev instance, and in the database sample, this is my source. You remember, right? I set one source for this. The source connection will be pointing to the sample database that is present in SQL dev instance. You can see it is connecting to the sample database, and the table name is select star from salesperson. So this is the table name, salesperson, and you can see I have 10 records inserted in it. And the second, the destination, I have created a similar table in AdventureWorks DW. Let me connect to that one too. So let me execute the same query by copying it from there. Here you can see this is empty. The table is empty for now. And I have created one more table in the new instance. In the default instance. Let me connect to default instance, that is SQL Server localhost. And let me connect to the database, and the database name is AdventureWorks. So if I execute the same query here, there is some data. Let me truncate it. Truncate table, salesperson. Okay, fine. Now I have 3 tables in 3 different databases. This is one, and this is the source, the sample database, and it has data, and the destination, AdventureWorks DW in the same instance, it is not having data, and in AdventureWorks it is not having data. Now, what is the destination I have set? The destination is set to root patients, and that is default instance. The database name is AdventureWorks TW. That is nothing but the last one, whatever we have truncated. You can see AdventureWorks, and the table and the instance is default instance. That is why I've given localhost here. So, and if you see, there is no data here. Now let me execute this package and show you what it is gonna show. I'm executing it. First start message, it will pop up the value whatever it is there. Package started executing, and then in the same one it updates the value to package completed, successfully completed. Okay. Now you can see package executed successfully. So the value, I'm using the same alert message, but the value of this string is updating in the start message script task. I'll show you that. Now the truncation is completed, load completed, and everything is completed. Let me go here and see the data, whether it's loaded or not. So it is loaded. Okay. Now where I'm updating the variable value. If you see, it is taking read write variables. I'm taking alert message, and as part of this script task, first I'm displaying the message, user alert message, and then the package executed successfully. I'm updating the value to package executed successfully from package started executing or something. So, and whenever this variable is used next time, it will be showing this package executed successfully. So, and if I rerun the package, again first time it will take the same alert message, default value whatever I've given, it will pop up, and then it will update, and it will use the same in the next pop-up message, end message task here, whatever I've given, end message script task. And if you observe, I've given it in read write variables. So this is a very simple package I've created. Now let's see where all you can execute the package. The first place is in bits. Execution can be taken from 4 different locations, 4 different places. The first one is bits. In bits you can do that. And the second one is command prompt. And the third one is, let me go here, SSMS. And the fourth one is SQL Server Agent. And there may be many third-party tools which we can use for executing the same packages. And even from .NET, if you write the code, I think you can call the package. But ultimately, at the end, it will come and fall into any one of these. So now let's discuss one by one where and how you can execute a package. And in bits, I don't think that I need to explain how to execute the package. The only thing I like to explain is, if you have more than one packages, okay, this is your parent. Let's assume this is your parent package and this is your child package. This package is calling this one. So you need to set this as a set a startup object. So if you execute this is the first one that will be executed. If you click here, it will be executed first. So the set a startup object means, what is the startup object? So this helps whenever you have parent-child packages. Apart from that, in bits, it's as simple as this. Right click and execute the package, and the package will be executed as you have seen here. Package started executing, and the data truncated and then loaded again to the same, and click on end. The end message is here. And the data will be the same again. Why? Because I'm truncating and loading to the database table. Now, let's see the next one. The command prompt. So the command prompt, the SSIS has provided utilities like dtexec. We worked a lot on dtutil utility, right? dtutil, right? Now dtexec and dtexec.ui, we are gonna see these two options now. So it is similar like dtutil, where you have to write the commands in the command prompt and it will execute it. Let me do one thing. Before doing that, let me create a package configuration. I think I have created package configuration also for this, and let me deploy it to the SQL Server Management Studio so that I feel it's easy for me to execute the package in command prompt using dtexec. Or I can use the package that is in the file system also, or I'll show both if time permits. So first let me see whether the package configurations, what package configurations I have set. It is XML package configuration, and the file name is xmlconfig.dtsconfig. Click on next, and what are all the objects that I have taken is the server name of the destination database and initial catalog of the destination database. 2, and the third thing is value of the variable whatever I am having. These 3 I have set. Click on next, and this is the configuration file I have created for this package. Let me rebuild it. I've set the deployment utility to true, create deployment utility to true, and it is rebuilt. All succeeded. Let me go to the folder and let me check the bin folder and deployment folder in there. You can see the XML configuration file is copied, and SSIS this training is the manifest file, and this is the package execution. Let me run the manifest file here. Click on S. I'll deploy it to SQL Server. Click on next. I'll deploy it to SQL Dev, and let me take whether I have SSIS packages. I have deleted all the junk that it was having in that we have added in last session. So click on next. All the dependencies I will add it to C drive FTP folder. Okay, click on next. Click on next. Now we have package configurations, the 2 XML config files. So it will ask whether you want to change it or not. I don't want to change it. It is pointing to Rupesh 71, that is default instance, and it is pointing to the database Adventure Works. Click on next and finish. Now the package should be created here. Let me pin it and let me connect to integration services. And let me see whether the package is copied properly. This is the package. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to execute the package from command prompt. Okay. For that, what you need to do here is command, open it, and let me go to the folder where I have dtex.exe files and all. So that will be available in program files, SQL Server, and 100, DTS, and bin, just like dtutil, and you can see it is somewhere here. Okay. So here in command prompt you have 2 different options. One is, first let me go to the particular drive, particular directory. So by typing cd, change directory, and pasting the path, so it will take me to the particular folder. So the current cursor is in that one. So there are 2 options. One is dtexec UI. So if you select this dtexec.ui, UI means user interface. Give me some user interface to execute the package. If you execute this, it will open the user interface like this. Okay. It will execute the user interface, whatever you can use to execute the packages. So what you can do here is, once the UI is open, dtex, you can see what the command I have typed here, dtexec.ui.exe. So here you can specify where your packages are and so on. So I want to execute the package that is available in the server, and the name of the package is package execution. And if you want to add any extra configuration files, you can add it here. And if you want to add any command files, connection managers, if you want to edit, or you can connection managers, and if you have all the information, execution options, fail the package on validation messages. If you want to fail the package when any validation message shows, then you can set it, but generally this will be set to false in 99.99% of the cases. Okay, just validate the package. If you just want to validate the package, then you can select this. That means only validate, don't execute. Or maximum concurrent executable property. How many concurrent execution can be taken at a time? When you have 10 different data loads, data flow tasks loading the data in a sequence container, then how many concurrent you can take it. And enable package checkpoints. You know, right? I think you still remember the discussion we had on checkpoints. So it is used to start the package from where it is failed, right? So if you have any checkpoint file, you can select it. You can select the checkpoint file, and this will make use of the checkpoint file. So in the same way, reporting, if you want to do any reporting like writing errors or warnings or custom events, what is the status and so on, you can select this. And logging part, there is no log provider. If you want, you can provide the options logging part here. And set values, if you want to set any values at the time of execution, you can use this. There is an option called set in dtexec. This is for that. And this is for verification, the package ID and all, whether it is, if you want to check whether the package ID is same as what you have given or it is changed, if you want to check whether this is the same package ID that you are executing, so you can do all this stuff. And this is the final command line. What it will give is, it will give you what you are gonna execute. So it is same as copy paste of the same thing here. Now I've copied it, right? Let me show you. I've copied this. This is the command prompt. I'm taking it into a notepad. I will use it next time. I'll show you how to use it. So these are the different options that you have in the utility. dtexec UI. That's a user interface provided by Microsoft. And you can see when I execute the package started executing, and the data load is completed, and it is completed successfully. So now if you observe, it has done everything, all the steps. Now there is some warning, right? Now let me do one thing. Execution options, fail the package on validation warning or some warning. Let's see what will happen if I check that option. There is some warning, right? That is not a validation warning, I think so. It is not failing the package here. Now there is no that warning too. Good. I'll do one thing. Here I'm checking it. Validate package without executing. So I'm giving an input like only validate it, don't execute it. So if you see, there is no pop-ups coming, no data load, nothing. Why? Because I asked the server to give to just validate. So it has validated. Validated this load AMP data, validated end message, validated start message, and validated truncate destination, and everything is fine. That is what it has given. So this is how we can make use of the different options here, and this is the UI part. dtexec UI.exe will open the utility package, execute package utility, in which you can point to any package which you want to execute. The second option in the command prompt is dtexec. dtexec.exe, and let me paste what I have copied. I've copied SQL package and so on, right? And you can see it started executing. So whatever the command prompt it has given, whatever the command prompt page in the dtexec utility UI, the command prompt, the execute package utility open, right? The command prompt query I have just, the command prompt line I have just pasted by taking dtexec.exe. The difference between UI and exe is UI will give you a user interface to easily understand what's all there to configure and what you want to configure and how to, to execute it. It's a very pretty clean UI. Here you have to write the code, like write the command line. So the same thing also you can get it from there. In the last tab you have seen, right? Last page from where I have copied the same command line. And you can see it executed successfully. It is showing all the stuff and it executed successfully. So this is the difference between dtexec and dtexec UI.exe. Now, if you want to see the different options, it's again same like dtutil. What dtutil comprises of? dtutil has value, key and value, right? It will have a property key and it will have a property value. In key and value pair. In the same way, here also there will be a lot of option and values. Let's see what are all the different options. How you can see that? This is how we have seen for dtutil, right? It's like dtexec space / question mark. It will give you what are all the different options that are available. And even I have not used most of the options here. I will try to give you clear information what these options is. So check file is like the checkpoint file, where the checkpoint file is. And check pointing, if you want to on or off, you can set it. Checkpointing part. Okay. By default it is on. If you specify the file, it will go and get the values from the file. And command file, I've never, and config file. If you want to add any config file which is not part of the package, if you want to add extra config file, then you can use this config file here. And connection, if you want to connect to the database, you can use ID or name. ID or name. It's not ID or. What is this connection is? The connections that you have used in your package, you can overwrite it here, and you can give the connection string, new connection string here. And console log and all this. This is decrypt. If you see, if your package is encrypted with a password, you have to decrypt it. So you can use decrypt and password. And DTS means saying that the package is stored in package store. Okay. And dump on error. File means it's again it's a file system storage. The package is available in the file. And help means it helps you. It will give you help like dtexec. Oops. I don't know, I pressed something. Let me exit it. The cap button is on. I don't know why. Okay, here it is fine. Oops. I'll do one thing. I'll copy it here. dtexec. I want to check /help of what is the option that I want to check. Let's say /f. So I'm copying it here. Okay, sorry. I've given the keyword, whatever it is option. The option is F, and if you see, F means file spec. So if you want to get more information about any option, you can use help. Like you have to give dtexec /help and F, whatever the option. Let's say I've given F. That means it will give you complete information about the what is the F option means in your dtexec command. And in the same way, password, if you want to provide password, and server, you will find here you can see set. If you want to set any property value, you can set it. I showed you, right? There was a set option. You can, what you have to give is, you have to give the property path and what is the value. Property path is nothing but whatever you have find in the XML. When you create the package configuration, you'll get the property path and the value, right? So the same thing, if you want to set anything manually at the time of execution, you can use this. And user means username, validate if you want to just only validate the package, and server means server, and verify package ID. What it will do is it will check whether the package ID is same as the one whatever you are going to give here. And so that is why, I mean, if you want to execute this in 32-bit server, 32-bit dtexec, then you have to select this x36. By default, it will go for x64. So these are the different options available, just like dtutil. I mean, we spend a lot of time on dtutil, right? In the same way, you need to write the command line here. dtexec. This is what you want to execute. Let's say exe, and the package is available in SQL. So I'll give SQL, and what is the package name? What is the package name that I've given? Let me take it from here. Package execution, and what is the server? I have to specify the server, right? It is not default instance. By default, it will go to the default instance, but it is not default instance here. /SQL dev instance. So that's it. I think it will execute the package, and you can see it started executing. These are the required inputs for executing the package, where the package is and what is the information. And you can see it's how much completed and everything, all the information is shown here. End process, and this started loading data, this much 50% complete, 100% complete, and so on. So in the same way, you can execute the package if it is available in package store or if it is available in some drive. So this is how. And if you want to set any values dynamically, you can use the set command and so on. So what I suggest is, actually I have added a post on this dtexec commands in my site msbiguide.com under SSIS articles. I suggest you guys to go through that, or you will find it in most of the sites, just for your while practicing if you get any doubt. It's always difficult to cover all the commands. What you can try is you can practice all the commands that are available and try to come up with the queries if you have any. So this is about the second option, right? dtexec, command prompt. It has two different. One is UI, package execution utility, and the second one is dtexec command line prompt. So hope you are clear. Now let me exit this guy, and let's see the third option, that is in SSMS. In SSMS, we have used it many times. It's pretty simple. Go to the package, right click, and run the package. So if you click on run package, it will execute the package. It will open the same execute package utility what it has opened when you type dtexec ui.exe in command prompt. So the same package utility. The only difference is here the package will be by default selected. Now let me execute it from the execute package utility that is pulled from SSMS. So it is executing, completed successfully, and it will be pushing the data, truncating and pushing the data to the same database, AdventureWorks database in localhost, that is default instance of SQL Server installed in my machine. And the second one, the table whatever we have created, is in AdventureWorks DW in SQL dev instance. Now let's try to load data into this one, right? So what you need to do, you need to modify in package configurations. Why? Because I have set the destination server property and destination database name property in the package configuration. That means whenever the package is executed, it will try to pull the data from package configuration files. So here, this is the package configuration file which is saved in C drive, FTP folder. So this is the server name. I have given it to Rupesh71. That means localhost, the default instance. I'll give it as SQL dev instance. And what is the database name? The database name is AdventureWorks DW. So I have changed these two things, the server name and the database name. Now let me execute the same package. And you can see the table is empty here. Okay, AdventureWorks DW database table. Now let me click on this, and package completed successfully. Let me check whether the data is loaded or not. And you can see the data is loaded. And this data will be available as is. Why? Because I have not truncated it. I am truncating only the table that I am loading. So if I truncate the data in the table, okay, and if you see, there is no data in the AdventureWorks, and if I execute the package one more time, it will truncate and it will load only the table that is present in AdventureWorks DW of the default, of the SQL Server dev instance, not the one which we have deleted now. Let me close this guy, and if I execute it, and you can see the table is still empty. Why? Because the package configuration I have set it to AdventureWorks DW in the SQL dev instance. Now let me change it back to the original one, so that if I execute this package, it should load the table whatever you are seeing on the screen. So let me execute the package now. And it started and finished. So fine, let me execute this, and you can see the data is loaded into this. So this is the beauty of package configurations. Instead of making changes to the package every time before deployment, and it helps you. For every server, whenever you're deploying, it won't give, you don't need to modify the server details and all. If you set the package configurations, you can simply change the values in the package configurations. So this is about the third option, running a package from SSMS. And remember one important point: whenever you try to use dtexec to execute the package, and if there is a package configuration, it will apply the package configurations before the execution, before the command line execution, and after that the command line values will be set, and after that again one more time the package configuration values will be taken into consideration. So it will be before and after the interpretation of the interpreting the command line. So keep that point in mind. That is how it sets the package configuration values to the package. Now let's see the last type, that is executing a package from SQL Server Agent. So this is most important one, and most of the cases people love to execute the package from SQL Server Agent. They want to configure it and it should trigger on a timely basis. Let's say I'm connecting to localhost, and you can see SQL Server Agent, and you can see there is no jobs. The only default job that is created by the SQL while creating the SQL Server installation is available. Now let me create a job for this. Before creating a job, it's always good practice. Generally administrators will take care of it. It's better to create a proxy ID to execute the packages. Okay, to execute the jobs or packages inside the jobs. I'll show you what is that. So proxy means nothing but you need to create an account with full permissions to execute the packages. It should not throw any error saying that the package is not having if the user ID is not having access to execute the package. Now let me show you how to create. First you need to create a credential. Go to credential page and give some name to this. I'll give it as execute jobs is the credential, and who identity I have to give the user who is having rights. Click on OK. Give password. Okay. And now the credential is created. So these credentials will be used in proxies. Here you can see the proxies, and here you can see exercise package execution. For executing all the exercise packages, I'm going to create one proxy, and I'm giving the name as agent jobs execution. And this guy will be used, this proxy will be used, this proxy will be used for executing all the packages in your server. So what is the name I have given there? I think it's jobs, right? Execute jobs. This is the name I have given. So this is, I will use this user and I'll give access to him to execute SQL Server integration package. Okay. Now click on OK. The proxy is created. We're good. Let me refresh it, and you can see the proxy under the folder SSIS package execution. So I've taken an ID and I've created a credential for that, and that credential I've used in the package execution proxy. So this proxy, whatever I've created, will be used in package execution. Let me show you where I'm going to use this. New job, and the name of the job is package execution, or I'll give a better package execution, and inside the job you will have steps. You can add n number of steps. So let me take one step here, and I'll name it as load sales person data. This is the name, and you can see what type of jobs, what type of steps you can create. You can create a TSQL step. That means write any select statement or insert statement or update statement. If you write anything, it will be executed. Mostly people use for execute inserting or executing the stored procedures on all those kind of stuff. If you want to execute a stored procedure, you can use this TSQL script. In the same way, you have PowerShell scripts, Activate script, operating system, command exe, and replication merge. You have different types of even analysis services command. You can create a cube using the steps in SQL Server Agent jobs. Now, our requirement is to execute the integration service package, and here I have selected the execution service executing the SQL Server integration package option there, and run as. Here I'm going to use the proxy that I have created, who has access, for whom there is access, who is having the administrator access to all the packages deployed. Now, where is the package? Is it in SQL Server or file system or package store? It is in SQL Server, and page 71/SQL dev. This is the server name and this is the instance name where the package is. And let me select the package here. Package execution. Click on OK. And advanced, if you want to set anything, like on success, what you want to do. You want to go to next step or you want to exit. Quit the job, reporting success, or quit the job, reporting failure. Generally, you don't use the third option here, but you have an option like quit the job. It will show as failure. Even though it is completed successfully, it will show as failure. Generally, people go to the next step or quit the job, reporting success. So if this is the last step in your job, then both the first one and second one will mean the same. If you even select this as go to next step, it will check whether the next step is there or not. If it is not there, then it will come out saying that successfully completed. And if it is failed, how many times you want it to retry? 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and so on. So these retry attempts will be very useful when you are checking for the files are copied into the particular destination or not. Any job, any task which checks for the files, whether the files is there or whether the data is loaded to the table or not. So let's say there is a table and the data will be loaded into the table in regular interval, like once in a day or twice in a day. Whenever the data is loaded, you have to execute the next step. So you can go for retry attempts, so many retry attempts, and for every 5 minutes once retry, it will check. You can write a query, select star from table where it is having so and so date. If the data comes, it will go to the next. So that is where we can use the retry attempts and retry interval minutes. On failure, what you want to do? You want to quit the job, reporting failure, or go to next step even though it is failed, or quit the job, reporting success. So generally it will be failure. And SQL Server Integration Services Packages output file. If you want to configure the output file, you can configure it so that all the information will be outputted. Or log table. If you select this log table, all the data will be entered into log information will be entered into the log table, or append output to the existing entry in table. So these are the options which you can use to log the information. Now, if you see, I have configured the package, and these are the same stuff what we have discussed there. What are the options that we have discussed when we discussed about package execution utility. Now let me click on OK, and I'm going only with one step, and let me execute this package. I hope it will fail. Let's see. Oops, it is failed. And let me show you and how to see the reason if it failed, where you can see the issue. You can go to the view history where you can check the history why it is failed. So this is the reason. Okay, this is the step, and if it has 10 steps, all the 10 steps will be listed here. Okay, and if you go here, it is saying something problem with whenever you are configuring jobs, like executing of packages from jobs, you should not have the pop-up messages and so on. Let me disable this guy and even this guy. And these pop-ups is creating. So actually, when you configure the job, it will be running in backend in background. So you should not have these kind of things. If you want to have, there is a separate option which you can set. All this you can set for pop-up messages and so on. I'm rebuilding it. Let me go to the folder where I have the deployment part and let me install it again. Yes. Click on next. SQL Server deployment. Click on next. SQL dev. Let me install the package. Let me select the path. Click on next. And let me set it to a C drive FTP folder. Okay. Click on next, next, and finish. Now I have a new package, and that new package will be having the new package configuration, which will be pointing to AdventureWorks in the default instance. That is this one. Okay. Before continuing about the SQL Server Agent, let me truncate the table. Salesperson F5, and let me copy the same guy, and you can see no data here, and let me truncate this table also. Table in this particular server also, and let me execute it. Now there is no data in both the tables in two different servers and two different databases in two different instances. Now what I'm gonna do here is I disabled the package pop-ups and I deployed the same, and the same thing is already configured. Let me try executing. Start job at step so and so, and let's see whether it will be a successful one or not. And you can see it is showing success. Okay, and the database is selected to AdventureWorks in the configuration file, so it is filled in, the data is loaded into the AdventureWorks. Now again I'm truncating the data, and I'll try to update the configuration file to the new database and new server. Let's see whether it works as expected or not. Okay, so the configuration file is here. Let me close it once and open. The path is FTP. This is the path. This is the configuration file. Let me open it as Notepad, and let me change it to SQL dev instance, and the database name as AdventureWorks DW. So now let me execute the job here, package execution. So start job at step so and so. So this is done, and now if I execute this, you can see no data inserted into this. Why? Because I have changed the package configurations for the connection string to the new database and new server. So this is how. And if you have more than one package, let's say you have to configure 10 packages, what you can do? You can add one more step here. Add next step. If you add one more step, you can call the package once again. You can call the new package. In the same way, if you have 10 packages that needs to be executed in a sequence, then you can set all these things in a sequence. Instead of that, if you have a package which is calling a child package, then it's enough if you call only the parent package. Automatically it will call the child package too. So this is a real beautiful option in SQL Server Agent. But what is the difference between SQL Server Agent and running the package by right clicking on SSMS? So even in SSMS, you are coming here, you are right clicking and executing it. Even in SQL Server Agent, you are doing the same. There are lot of advantages if you go for SQL Server Agent. For example, if you see this is the package, you can execute it. Sorry, this is the job, you can start it. And the first advantage is you can have n number of steps, like you can call many packages in a sequence, in an order. Like first this package and then another package. You can add it as a step. Every package has a step here. And the second thing is you can schedule it. And alerts, if you want to set any alerts, you can set it. And if you want to set notifications, email notifications whenever the job fails, you can do that. But you need to configure the properties of the email here. Or if you want to set a page or net send, whenever the job fails, you can do all these notifications. And let me uncheck this. I don't have any email configuration setting. And the major advantage is scheduled one. The schedules, when it has to be executed. What's the frequency that it has to execute? You can configure a schedule. Just like in SSRS reports where you subscribe a report, you can configure it. It will be automatically taken care. You can go to bed after configuring the schedule properly. Let's say I want to execute this job for every 1 minute. Okay, I'll name it as 1 minute schedule. In real time also the schedule names will be like this: 1 minute schedule, weekly schedule, half-yearly schedule, monthly schedule, and so on, recurring. And you want to enable the schedule? Yes, I want to enable. And is it weekly or daily? Daily it is. Recurs every 1 day, occurs from 12 a.m. in the morning, and occurs for every 1 minute, or even you can set every 1 second. Okay, I'm setting it to minute because second will be too less to calculate. And it will start at 12 in the morning and it ends at 11:59 in the night. So that means it will be executing throughout the life. Okay, and this is the starting date from 30th of this day, starting from this time, and ending is, you can specify any particular end date or you can specify no end date. That means it will continue to execute. And if you see whatever you have configured here, it will be in description part. Occurs every day, every 1 minute between this time to this time. If you want to execute this job from only 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., you can configure it here. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for every 1 minute execute. So if you see this particular scheduling part, it's the superb option. The same one is available for SSRS too. And now I've created 1 minute schedule. And let me click on OK. Now let me forget about it. So, and meanwhile, let's discuss about different options here. You can, if you want to disable it, you can just simply click on this disable. So the job will be disabled and it will not be executing until you enable it back. And if you want to delete it, you can delete, rename, and if you want to refresh, you can refresh. If you want to start, if there are 10 different steps in the job, if you want to start at a particular step, let's say 5th step, you can select this, start job at step. If you click on this, automatically it will show you at what step, all the steps that are available there, and you can select what step you want to start from. If you select 5, it will start from 5th step and it will continue from there. And if you want to stop the job, you can right click and click on the stop job. And if you want to see the history, you can click on the history. I think it's 1 minute completed by the time I configured. See, you can see at 9:15 I have not executed. The time is 9:15. I have not executed, but automatically it has executed and the details will be here. This is the step 1. Step ID is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it executed at this time. And this is the details, and if you want more details, it will be available here. It has taken 0.01 second, and this is the outcome of it. Started at so and so time, ended at so and so time, and blah blah blah. Finished in a time elapsed is 0.797 seconds, and so on. So this is a real good option. This is the one I love when I was working with SSIS packages. It's a beautiful option to schedule the jobs, and what support jobs will be. I mean, there will be a lot of guys who will be recruited for support jobs. So what their job is, mainly keeping an eye on all this stuff. Let's say if they find anything like this, okay, what is the issue? Immediately they have to fix it. Once fixed, they have to re-execute it. So there will be thousands of jobs in a server, and one related to another. If anything fails, then the remaining things will be on hold. So it's the job of the support guy to find out if there is any failure. They will configure a mail like, okay, this is failed, so fix the issue by finding whatever it is. So what their job is to go and fix it and start the job from that particular step. Now it's 9:16. Let me refresh it and see whether it executed at 9:16 or not. You can see it executed at 9:16. If I forget to stop this, it will continue to execute throughout its life. There is no end time set, right? So it will be executing for every 1 minute. If I deleted the table or if I deleted the database, then it will start showing error. The database is not available, whatever you have configured in the package. So this is about it, and if you want to export the same information, you can export it into a log file. You can specify some name and you can export it. And if you want to load from the log file, you can get it. So exported one, you can see it in a different server by importing. And refresh to see whether there is any refresh data or not. If the job is running continuously and if you want to see whether that is completed or not by refreshing, you can click on refresh. And support, guys, when I was working on a support project, this was open always. Always it was open. Okay. And search, if you want to search for anything, you can search for it with the name. And if you want to delete, if you don't want it, for example, you fixed it, and if you don't want it, for example, just delete it. And help, if you want to get any help. I don't know why it is not deleted. Let's see. Delete this guy. Delete all history. Oops, completely deleted. Sorry, guys. Now let's wait for 1 more minute so that the next execution will be triggered automatically, and it will be displayed here the status of the execution. So this is about different options that are available for SSIS packages to execute at different places, like a command prompt, or using execute package utility, or by configuring it into SQL Server Agent jobs. See, it will be like one simple job I have explained. It's your job to try different things, like try to configure and try to execute some SQL statements in that. So there will be always a scope for practicing by setting the requirements in a different way. Don't go for the simple requirements like this. Try to make it a complex one so that you can learn a lot. Instead of whatever I have explained you guys, you can learn a lot. So this is about, and you can see the next trigger is also done. And if you want to see this job activity monitor, this will show all the packages that are available. Whatever the packages that are available, everything will be shown here. And what else you have here, the important thing. Okay, that's important items for now. And hope you get the complete knowledge on how to execute the packages. So that's it for today's session, and I should say that that's it for SSIS training sessions. And hopefully I'll add one more video on performance, SSIS performance tuning. It depends on the time availability. Seriously saying, I'm not having time now, so don't expect in near future at least. So thank you very much for being part of this SSIS training sessions, and hope you gained a little or a good amount of knowledge from the sessions. My best wishes to each and everyone, and hope you will get settled with a good package and good opportunity. Thank you very much, guys. My best wishes again. Bye bye.